to hear how to prepare for what is coming. Many of the things we may not be able to get because of finances, but the knowledge is good. We can impart it to others. So without further ado, he traveled all the way from Arkansas. When we met him 3 years ago, was through Brother Dudley Houston. So I praise God for Brother Dudley. And he shared some valuable information with us when he came here on Sabbath. So today he's going to do the practical part. And I pray that you will be blessed. You will go with the information and share. You may not have money to give them, but you have enough information. You can tell them a thermos, get stuff. The Lord will use him today to bless your hearts. Brother Reggie.
Thank you so much.
Welcome, Sister Pat.
I want to thank everybody for coming, and I want to say a special thank you for inviting me. It's truly a humble privilege to be here to stand here before you this morning. One of the things I wanted to make clear initially is that this is not about fear. It's not about a lot of the other negative things that go on in the world. We're Seventh-day Adventists. And as Seventh-day Adventists, we have the spirit of prophecy and the Bible to guide us and teach us and inform us of what's to come. So I think that if we have that knowledge, we have the upper hand over the enemy. And God has allowed us to know what's going to happen ahead of time so we can prepare our hearts, our minds, our most spirits, for the things that are coming. And so with that being said, you all should have your handouts. And I want you to look, you should have this here, look about Thrive, and you should have a little page insert inside of it. Now, initially, I said this isn't about fear. And so, as Christians, specifically Seventh-day Adventist Christians, our faith comes first before anything else. So I have this Bible emergency number here, numbers here. And so as you look at this, you see when you find yourself in a certain state of mind, or you, like say you're upset, you're weak, you're lonely. When you're upset, you got John 14. When you're weak, you got Psalms 18, 1 through 29. You're feeling lonely, you got Psalms 23. If you're worried, you got Matthew 8, 19 through 31. So for whatever it is that you're feeling, there's a scripture there to kind of help you get through that. During the time of crisis, we find ourselves maybe in any one of these feelings. And so it might affect us a certain kind of way, emotionally and mentally. So then we have this booklet here called Thrive. And it says Thrive, Coping in the Midst of Crisis. When you open the book up and you're looking through the pages, the first page talks about mental health back to basics. The reason why I included this in this part of my presentation was because when bad things happen, it affects us mentally and emotionally. Yes, we have our faith, but things still affect us. The people in eastern part of Tennessee, the people in North Carolina, people down in Florida, just went through this horrific hurricane, wiped out people's homes, some people lost their lives, people still without power. And so those things affect us in different ways. So I think it's important for us to know how to make our minds more resilient to where we can handle it. So I want to give you these tools. But the first one starts with these scriptures. It starts with God. Having our spiritual relationship with God is more important than anything. So I want to start off by saying that. When you look through the booklet, you turn over to page number 6. You see it talks about break free from depression. When you lost your home, maybe a loved one, you might tend to go into a certain state of mind of depression. Well, if you look on the page right across from it, it talks about diet and depression. So your diet is going to be very important. The next page over is going to talk about aerobics, the importance of aerobics exercise. If you turn to page number 10, again, we're not going through every page and everything, but I just kind of want you to become acquainted with the little booklet at the breaking point. And it gives you some tips and some ideas as to how to prevent stress. And if you do get stressed, how to overcome it. And on page number 13, you even have an anti-stress day. What is, on page number 13, what is page number 13 actually about? So when you turn page number 13, it's kind of the anti-stress day, page number 13 of your booklet.
Sabbath.
About the Sabbath, okay. So we're Seventh-day Advent. So in the middle of whatever we're going through, we still have to keep God and His commandments, being obedient to His commandments, being obedient to His word, that type of thing. We have to keep that in mind. But that's an anti-stress day. And, you know, I'll let you go through the rest of it. But I will say one thing. The next page over, having those who have families, if you have families like, you know, spouse, children, maybe a parent that lives with you, page number 14 talks about the resilient family relationships and how you can kind of help strengthen your family relationships during a time of crisis. So these two things right off the bat, you have the Bible scriptures, emergency numbers, and then you have a little booklet here to kind of help you get through those stressful moments in your life. Any questions about this so far? Next, if you could take out the water filtration and purification packet, hand it down. Sorry. No, it's going to be this one here. He's going to hand it out. He's going to put the other hand it out. You're going to get this here.
So, anytime. You get the water one, but not that.
Yeah. You know, it might be good just to.
She doesn't have to.
Yeah, just.
So,
Okay.
Pictures.
She has the water one.
Yeah, the water one's what we're doing first. We'll get to the other ones later on. Okay, does everybody have the water purification packet? Do I not have it? This one?
What's up there?
We're doing this one right now. This is the one we're doing right now, so I don't.
Trying to know if this one. Right. Water purification.
Yes.
Yeah, we have that.
We have the.
She had it in her hand there.
We just have to sit back. Oh, yes, you called me. Okay. You're missing a couple of people.
Okay, does everybody have a water purification packet?
amen.
Okay, all right. So, let's have a word of prayer.
Yes.
We're praying. Dear Father, I thank you so much for this golden, wonderful opportunity to be a presenter before your people this morning. I pray, Lord, that you hide me behind the cross, that I only speak those things that you give me. I pray, Lord, that the minds and hearts of the people and myself are open to your word and open up to your instructions. I pray for guidance for myself and wisdom for all. In Jesus' name, we pray and thank you. Amen.
Amen.
Okay.
Can I get one, please?
Water purification. Okay, so everyone has a water purification handout. Alright. Okay, so now, obviously the first subject we're going to cover this morning is water purification. And the first page of the water purification packet that I handed out is about water purification methods in the Bible. Exodus 15:25. So let me go ahead and read that first paragraph.
So Moses brought Israel from the Red Sea, and they went out to the wilderness of Surf. And they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water. when they came to Mara, they could not drink of the water of Mara, for they were bitter. Therefore, the name of it was called Mara. And the people murmured against Moses, saying, what shall we drink? And he cried unto the Lord, and the Lord showed him a tree. And when he had cast into the waters were made sweet. And there he made for them a statute and an ordinance. And there he proved them. And he said, if thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, and will do that which is right in the sight, and will give ear to his commandments, and keep his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon thee, which I brought upon the Egyptians. Found the Lord that healeth thee. And they came to Elam. And there were 12 wells of water, and 80 and 10 palm trees. And they are camped there by the waters.
Okay, so what's this first method that we see, purification in the Bible? What's the first method? What did they use to purify the water? It was bitter. Trees. They used the trees. Okay, so came from nature. Right. All right, and then any questions about that scripture or comments? Okay. And all right, next one, 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 20. Well, chapter 2, I guess it'll be 18, the verse we'll be reading. So I'm going to read that.
And when they came again to him for a chariot of Jericho, he said unto them, Did I not say unto you, go not? And the men of the city said unto Elisha, Behold, I pray thee, the situation of this city is pleasant, as my Lord seeth, but the water is not, and the ground barren. And he said, Bring me a new cruse, and put salt therein. And they brought it to him. And he went forth into the spring of the waters, and cast the salt in there, and said, Thus saith the Lord, I have healed these waters. There shall not be from thence any more death or barren land. So the waters were healed unto this day, according to the saying of Elisha, which is faith.
Okay. Now, what's the second method of purifying water?
So,
Now, who told the prophet to do these things?
the Lord,
Okay. In the 25th verse, go back to Exodus 15 and 25. And he cried unto who?
The Lord.
And who? The Lord showed him a tree. So, who is guiding here? The Lord. Okay, then we drop down into 2 Kings, chapter 2, verse 21. He went forth to the springs of water, cast the salt therein, and said, Thus saith the who? The Lord. I have healed these waters. There shall be from thence any more death or barren land. So we see a precedent in the past where God has used natural remedies or natural things of nature to purify the water. But it was the Lord that did it. But it was according to the people keeping his commandments and his statutes. So as we were being obedient to God's commandments and his statutes, God's going to protect us and provide for us. We just have to have the knowledge that we need to kind of mimic what happened in the past. Because the precedent was set here. So we see that God used a tree, specifically a tree branch, and then he also used salt. How many of you, I know a lot of people here have country properties. How many have a well? Few people have a well. How many people have a water softener attached to your well? Okay. How many of those water softeners are operated with salt? Okay. So now I have one too, so I asked. And my well operates off of salt-based water softener as well. So my water softener went bad. The little control chip inside of it went bad. So I was looking at trying to replace it. But I didn't know, how it worked. I didn't know anything about it. I lost the house and everything, and then that went bad. I was wondering if it went bad. So in my research trying to get it repaired, I discovered that it used salt. I didn't know anything about wells or any of that. And so I said, no, salt. Use salt to purify. So you go to Walmart, or go to Home Depot or Lowe's, there's bags of salt, a specific type of salt. You can't just go and get a box of salt and pour it in. There's a specific type of salt that you have to get and pour it in to purify it. So I thought that was really interesting that in the Bible it talked about using salt to purify or cleanse the water. And now we see in modern day times, they're using the same method. It might be a little technology based and that type of thing, but they still use the salt. Now they do make some that don't use salt, in case you want to look at replacing that. But I want to say one thing. When we talk about salt in the diet, we talk about high blood pressure, sometimes we get too much salt, right? Well, one of the things I discovered as I was doing research, trying to prepare my own well, is that there are some people who have been complaining of high blood pressure because even though you pour the salt into this container that's inside of the device, and it gets rid of the salt, but then get rid of all of it. Some remnants still there. So when you're drinking your water, you're still getting salt secondhand. Even though you're not getting it from your food, you're getting it from the water. So some people complain of high blood pressure. So if you might want to kind of consider that, kind of monitor that. If you got an older system, you might want to upgrade it. Maybe it just depends. But I just want to put that out there. That is out there, so you can go out and look for yourself and do your own research. And with anything I talk about up here, I suggest that people do their own research as much as possible. I know you guys might not know where to look for some things, but you take out your phone and say, hey, Google, ask whatever you want. You can find out a lot of answers for yourself that way too. So I just want to make that clear. Now, the tree branch. If you go to the next page, MIT. And this company called Xylem. They both are looking at purifying water through tree branches. And
in this area, we have free access to cold spring water that comes up from the ground, and it's flowing constantly. It never stops. It's in the Savannah, right here in Savannah area. Airport Road has a Willoughby Loop. It's a little loop that goes off of Airport Road and then comes back on. And it's on Willoughby Loop where that cold spring water is constantly flowing, and that's what we use. We get that and put it in glass containers, and that's what we drink.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that. Yeah, and I guess anybody else that lives in that area can get that as well. So,
excuse me, but how that happens? If I saw it another place to come in from the, I was amazed to see that, and people come in the pickup truck and big drums of water. How did that happen?
I know, I really can't answer that because I don't live here, but I'm going to kind of, well, if you have questions, just kind of geared toward, because I don't live here, so I can't tell you what they do, how that whole thing works. But yeah, as far as the information I'm getting, I can only speak to that, because I know this information. And so, if you're looking at this second page here, this Xylem water filter, it's showing you this video. It's got the link down there too for those of you who want to go look at the video on YouTube on how to actually make your own water purifier out of a tree bark. It says, what is Xylem? We'll look at this first paragraph here underneath the picture. It says, what is Xylem? It says, plants use the Xylem tissue in trunks and branches for the transporting of water from roots to the other plants. Evaporation of water from the leaves create a negative pressure in the xylem and cools the water from the roots towards the leaves. And that's how the leaves get their nourishment. Now that's how the trees, like you have a fruit tree, how it gets its nourishment as well. Then it asks, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it's kind of want to get you going, get you familiar with this process. It says the xylem has a very interesting structure. It consists of conduits which are interconnected one to another through pores present on other sidewalls. These pores range in size from a few nanometers in angiosperms to a few hundred nanometers in gymnosperms. They are much smaller and several contaminants present in the water, such as dust, bacteria, and protozoa. And then how does it help create water, but how does this help you create a water filter? And it goes on and give you step-by-step instructions on how to actually create it. But if you go back to the first page, back to the first page, or second page, sorry, back to the second page. So we're back on this page here. And, oh, let's go. So go back to that second page, and we're at this page here, where we just read from. If you look just above the pictures, I know it's a little hard to see because the print's saying, apologize for that. But if you look just above the picture, you'll see the different ingredients that it takes to make the water purifier, make your own natural water purifier. One of the reasons why I'm showing you all how to make your own natural water purifier is because I know everyone's not going to have money to buy all those things. There are some people who can afford certain things, and certain people can't afford things. You may be in a situation where you can afford something, but for some reason or another, you find yourself away from that, meaning you're traveling or in someone's house or whatever. And at least now you have the concept to know that there's a natural way to do it. And it's just this little component up here. And you go, and when you go and cut a tree branch, it has to be a non-poisonous tree. And that's another whole subject about how you determine the non-poisonous trees. We're not getting into that, we should deal with the water purification side of it. But you would do this from a non-poisonous type tree, like pine trees. I don't know if all pine trees are unpoisonous, but something like pine trees would be what you would get. You would get one of these branches, you would cut it from what it looks like here, maybe an inch or half inch of tree branch, and you trim it down. And you got these little holes. You know, we look at the top of the picture here, very top. And you get like a little rubber hose. I've actually done this too. I left it at home. I should have brought it with me. But you get this clear rubber hose, like maybe $5 of that. And then get a little clamp that you can go around that you can clamp the end of it down onto the branch as you stick the branch up into the rubber hose. And then you pour the water, the contaminated water to the top. And then the pores inside of the bark itself, or the branch itself, filters out the water. Just like it would pour the dirty water in the top, it'll filter the tree branch itself, part of the side will filter, and it drips out the bottom, and it gives you water.
Brother Reggie, would it be possible to use that same method to put it in one of those filters that we buy, put it in there, and it filters it, put it in done that way?
If you were clever, yes. But see, like say for example, something like a turkey, I won't say it wouldn't work. If you were clever, you could get it to work. And when I talk about the turkey, I'm going to kind of get into that.
Okay.
But really, it's better to just use the method they got here, because it's simple. So you just go to Home Depot and spend $15, if that, and buy these little parts, and you just simple little holes. You go cut a tree bark off. Like say my finger's a hole. I wish I had an actual hole. Say my finger's a hole. And say this is a tree branch. And I just cut like maybe a half inch off. I insert this into there, and say the hose is like 5 inches long. So then at the bottom of the tree, of the hose, you got this tree branch stuck in here. Pour the water in the top, and it filters out, drips out through the bottom. It's a slow process, but it drips out. So to me, it's easier and better to go ahead and do that. Then you might have to come up with some kind of way to hold it and such. And I actually think I have a picture of what I did. I have to find it. But I built this little makeshift stand that actually holds it in place out of some scrap lumber that I got from Home Depot. And so I got like a zip ties and tied it to it. It's like a little pole beam type of thing, about this tall. They got a little base. They got some nails, a little pole. I nailed it from the bottom, so the pole is vertical, so on top of this little base like this. And I have the hose going down. They got zip ties, 2 zip ties tied at the top and tied at the bottom. So now the little hose kind of comes down like this, like a shape. So at the top, I pour the water into it, and of course you put the little tree branch inside of the bottom part, and it drips out the bottom. It's a very simple thing. Like I said, I actually did it, but I didn't bring it, so. But I think it might be easier to just do it that way, because if you try to, make something like this work with this, it's gonna be a little tricky. And not saying you can't do it for those who are pretty clever, but, this is kind of a basic type of thing. And again, with what I talked about today, I'm gonna cover if you don't have much money at all, and then if you got money. If you got money, you can obviously do this and plus a lot more. But I want to try to present things where you can find yourself in a situation where you don't have all this stuff. What do you do? So we're going to get to that too. Okay. Moving on to the next section. MIT. We're looking at MIT News. That's the third page, I believe, for the handout. It says MIT engineers make filters from tree branches to purify drinking water. And so you see at the end, their method of doing it. There looks like a pine tree. And then you see they got the tree, and you've got like the little part, this little part of the branch they cut off. And you see they got like a little hose, have a little clamp, and you see how the water drips out. Everybody see that? Okay. So simple as that. And underneath that, they actually show what the tree bark or the tree branch is made out of, how the water flows through the different pores, come out the bottom, purified, or filtered rather. So, so MIT and this other company called Milam, they actually do the same thing, use the same method they used in the Bible years ago. Any questions so far? Okay. If you turn over to the next page, we're at this page here, where it says, make water safe for drinking in emergency. Now, I am not a water expert, but the CDC folks are. And so if you look at the bottom of the page down here on the lower right-hand or just left-hand portion, you see that it's from the CDC's website. So I got this from the CDC's website, printed it up, and it says, make water safe during an emergency. Somebody read that paragraph at the top.
Tap water may not be safe to drink during an emergency. Listen to your local authorities. Use bottled water if possible. If not, use one of the methods below to make it safe. Boiling works best. Water contaminated with harmful chemicals or toxins cannot be made safe by boiling or disinfection.
So I want that to be clear. Now, I want to say something else too about water. And when they talk about water coming from municipalities, like if you're on city water, it goes out, the water eventually stops. Now most people don't know that; they just think, oh, turn on the tap and it comes out. Flush the toilet, it goes down. But they don't really think about where the water comes from or how the water gets into the tap before it come out. So there's a pumping station someplace, and then different cities, municipalities have different methods. Some you see these giant water towers where the water is the tower's full of water and it comes out, the gravity effect kind of like this, sitting up, and then the water drips out. Or in the case of municipalities, the water's kind of the weight of the water's kind of pushing pressure into the pipe. The piping system pushes it out to different homes. And other places they don't necessarily have a water tower, but it gets pushed out that way. Yes, ma'am.
Also, if you have your own well, but you have, you still lose the water that way.
That's true. That's true. And I was getting to that because it actually happened to me. I bought my property about 2.5 years ago. I had my first power outage. And I already knew this. And that's why I bought a generator, a solar generator I have over there. And I'll get to that later. But, whether you're in the city or whether you're in the country, well, if you're in the country, if you have a manual pump, that's not an issue. But if you have an electric pump, and the power goes out, especially if it goes out for a sustained period of time, you're going to lose your water. When the power went out of my house, I already knew that I was going to lose water, but I didn't know I was going to lose it so quickly. So power went out, and I had lighting sources and things, we'll get into that later. And I was like, oh man, it's really dark. I mean, I'm from Atlanta, and I bought a house, I bought property in Arkansas. And I'm used to darkness, but I'm not used to that kind of darkness. So when the lights went out, it was really, really dark. I'm like, I couldn't even see my hand in front of my face. I pulled back the curtain, turned the light out, because I had one of these lights. And I'm like, I can't see anything. I mean, it was super dark. So I wasn't really, I wasn't ready for that level of darkness that you can almost feel. so I was like, oh wow, this is real. So and I want to say this too. I know that most people here have property in the country, but there are people in the city who have no idea how dark really gets. And they have no idea how the water works or any of that kind of thing. So your mind has to be prepared for country living before your body gets there. You have to kind of think about what you're going to be dealing with. And it's not to say that you're going to be 100% prepared, because there are things that I kind of knew what to expect, but sometimes you know what to expect, but the depth in which you experience it is different, because having intellectual knowledge is different from experiential knowledge. Because intellectual knowledge, reading something on this page, experiential is like, okay, it's dark, now it's making me feel a certain kind of way, because you don't take the feeling. And sometimes when we read the scriptures, we read about other people's stories. And it's other people's stories because we don't have that feelings associated with what they're going through. And in the Alliance, now we read that story and oh, he had great faith. Yeah, he had great faith, but he had some stuff going on. You have to think now, not to say that he was obviously faithful, right? But when you find yourself in a situation, you know, you're praying to the Lord about the situation. That's the first thing you start praying about things. Because now, it's not something you read, you're actually experiencing it. And now, that's somebody else's story becomes your story. And so, with all of this, that's what that's about. It's dealing with your own story and making sure your faith overrides is greater than your fear. But one of the ways to do that is to try to prepare your mind, your spirit, and as much as you can practically. That's what Noah did, try to prepare practically for what was coming. So, there's that. Sure.
For the pump, for the well, as you know, I have the pump, and I'm trying to get rid of hand pump.
Yes, ma'am.
And it seems like no one knows how to connect the hand pump well.
Well, okay, so when you say no one knows how to
I mean,
connect.
I contact several people trying to get them to put a hand pump in. They said it was well.
Well, see, this is what I ran into as well. I think I know why they're saying that. So, with my electric well, and I'll try to keep it brief because it's a story. My electric well, I wanted to upgrade it. And there's a reason why I wanted to upgrade it. I won't get into the whole back end story, but I needed to upgrade it. Meaning the electric pump is a big, long, I got pictures of this too, but I'll show you later. It's a long cylinder, all right? And it's got like a PVC pipe that goes from the top of it. Pretend like this is the cylinder. It goes down into your well. The pipe of my well is 6-inch diameter. So this is the well pump, and it's got a motor and everything that sucks the water in, all right? So there is PVC pipe attached to the top of it. I have my well is 280 feet. Well, the pump is 280 feet deep. My well is deeper than that, but the pump sits 280 feet deep down inside the well. So there's a PVC pipe that comes 280 feet up, and there's a wire. There's two wires that kind of take along the PVC pipe all the way up 280 feet. All right. So this is submerged into the water. So this is what I had to have replaced. And at the top, where those wires get connected to, there is a control box that tells you, well, turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off, pump, stop, type of thing. And then that wire from the control box goes underground below the, I have it where it's below the, there's a name for it, I can't remember what it's called. But it's below the frost line, so my well doesn't freeze at winter time. And so the wires kind of go underneath the ground all the way to the crawl space of my house. As the wire comes in the crawl space of my house, I have that water softener that's connected to, and pipe as well, not just cable, but the pipe as well. So it's then connected to the water softener is then connected to this water tank, a 40-gallon water tank, right? It's blue. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. So it's blue. So then there's like a control switch between the water softener and water tank, and so that tells this other control box for this turn on, turn off, turn on, turn off, and the tank, when it gets down to a certain level, it has to float. Okay, it drops so low because I've been taking a shower, or washing dishes, the float or whatever. It tells the pump, kick in, kick off, kick in, kick off. So, explaining all of that, this part here, the pump, is submitted, submerged into the water. This had to be replaced, and then the control box, they replaced that too. And they replaced the wire that went from this to the control box. That had to be replaced, so they all knew that. Now, what I wanted to have done was have a manual pump right alongside this in the well, put down. They don't want to do it. Nobody wants to do that. Now, you know the reason why they don't want to do it? This was the reason they explained to me. When this is submerged into the water, and you got 280 feet of pipe, or PVC pipe that goes up, and you got like the wire that comes to this, goes up along the PVC pipe, it's taped onto the PVC pipe. This wire, well, when the well is dug, it's not straight, it's crooked. It goes down, it goes left, it goes right, and all that kind of thing. When this is strapped onto the side of the PVC pipe, now it rubs on the wall. And so the outer sheathing of the cable gets rubbed off. Now the electrical wires inside get exposed to the water, short circuit. So the people are saying they don't want to do it because it's going to short circuit that. And one guy said he would do it, but he wants to sell me the whole thing. But that's the guy that kind of beat me out of it. He kind of got me, I'll leave it at that. The Lord delivered me of that. But so he's the one guy that said he would do it. I'm not sure I want to trust him because, you know, he got me. But nobody else wants to do it. They're saying you need to probably dig another well to have a manual pump installed for that well. And that way you've got a manual pump well and you got an electric pump well. Well, you know, I don't have the money to do all that. And most people don't. You know, so I asked the boss, well, what do I do here? There is a company called the Idaho Hand Pump. And I don't have anything about that. I wasn't planning on talking about that, but I'll talk about that. And I'll show you some pictures of it too. Idaho Hand Pump, they sell, it's a family-owned company. It started by his wife and son, or grandson, took over the business. And so they run it now. And they are in the Idaho area. They go around and install the pump. But you can buy the kit and deliver it to you, have it delivered to your home. You can install it yourself. It's a DIY kit if you want to do it. And they have videos on how to do it. And you can call up and they'll walk you through how to do it. So I do have the kit. I haven't done it yet because I'm still kind of thinking about what people said about when you put it in there, it puts pressure against the other one and kind of wears it out. I'm like, Lord, you know, I kind of want it in place where something happens. I don't have to worry about trying to put it and install it. I like to do myself. But I'm praying about that. But I do have a kit. So there is a kit out there. And there are other kits you can buy too. Yes, ma'am.
So question, would it be possible to do the hand pump instead of the electrical?
Yes, you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do that. I mean, because see then, you know, now, having said that, you know it's not convenient. But then when things go bad, nothing makes it, you know. So yeah, you could absolutely get a manual pump and do it yourself that way, in your well. So I guess for me, electric pump is already there, so I'm using that. And then I have solar. That's why I had to get that's my generator over there. And I guess I'll show it to you later. That was the first generator that I bought. But I had to get another more powerful generator to pump my well because that generator is 120 volts, but it takes a 240 volt generator to get my well going. And so that's something I had no idea. I just thought that was the whole house and done with it. No, I had become educated, you know. And so it's been a good education. It's been a little painful financially, but it's been a good education. Now maybe sit here and talk about it, you know. Yes, ma'am.
My parents I come from Michigan, and my parents had a cottage up at one of the little lakes in Michigan, and in the cottage, they had a hand pump right in the kitchen, you know, where usually you have faucets in the kitchen. They had a hand pump, and right on the side, so it pumped water in the sink, or in a container in the sink. And the cottage was in an area where it's sandy soil, very sandy soil, and so we had delicious water. Because the soil, you know, kind of gets purified the water.
It's true, it does. We'll talk about that too.
It was good.
Thank you for that. Okay, getting back to the page here, making water safe during an emergency. Just looking at some of the ways of disinfecting water, or treating the water. You got boiling. You got boiling. We don't know about that. It tells you here, you boil it for about 3 minutes roughly, and let it cool. You got this bleach. I don't like that method just because I don't like the bleach. I don't like the whole bleach idea. And then you got water filters and purifiers, which are manual, which you can buy, which I have some of those up here. Right? And then on the next page, you have water treatment while hiking, camping, and traveling. This page here, water treatment while hiking, camping, and traveling. And again, it talks about different ways to purify as well as filter your water. And now, on the left-hand side of the page, you got the different types of germs. Where you get different types of germs. You got bacteria, viruses, parasites. And parasites, two different types of parasites that are sitting down here. But, and then going across the top, you see the different methods of purifying the water. And then going from top to bottom on the different things that the different methods at the top will take care of. So like, for example, boiling, it takes care of all types of germs, bacteria, viruses, and parasites, right? Filtering, using a manual water filter. And it says here for filters, the manual water filters, and the 3 microns or smaller filters for bacteria, and had an X there for viruses. That's not necessarily true. It depends on which kind you buy. I think everything up here that I have, everything up here does down to a virus level, and I'll show you which one I'm talking about. But if you were to go out and buy the Sawyer, and we'll see this in the handout. There's one water filter called Sawyer. Sawyer makes a version that does purify water, but purifying simply means it kills viruses, bacteria, protozoa, things like that. But it gets down to a virus level. That's a purifier. Filters gets out particulates, like silt and rocks and sand and grit, things like that. So then you got chlorine, iodine. You got a combination of filter and disinfectant. You got UV light. I don't care for UV light. And I want to say this. Say that you use the boiling method. Okay. If you don't have anything else, you can always boil water. And you can always get a pot of some sort, spread it fire and boil the water. Even though you can do that, what's one of the downfalls of boiling the water? And not so much the boiling process itself, but what's one of the shortcomings of only boiling water? It's a very obvious one, but you're not thinking about it.
You got dead critters.
What's that?
You boiled the critters that were in the water.
Okay. Well, I hope you take the critters out, but okay. We don't
I
want to
mean,
boil frog in
the
the pot.
virus, the little microscopic.
Yeah.
Take care of chemicals.
Yeah, it won't take care of chemicals. Anything else? What else?
Takes a lot of energy.
Well, it does take a lot of energy. Anything else? It's a very obvious one.
You don't get immediate gratification. You gotta wait for it to cool.
That's another one. That's a good one. That's another one. It's a big one. And you don't think about it until you drink it. That's a hint. There you go. Yeah, if you go get muddy water, or if you go get water out of a pond, it's got algae floating around in it, and then you boil it, you think you're gonna get rid of the algae taste and smell? No. So it's that kind of thing. So you use different methods to do different things, to accomplish different goals. So if you don't have any of this stuff because you don't have money, you can always boil it. And remember, now I always like to talk about what you can do if you don't have money, or what you can do if you do have money. And then it's what you can do if you got a little bit of money. Just want to see the end of that.
Okay, so I'm looking at how long to boil it. It says boil 1 minute or 3 minutes. Which one is it?
Well, remember, if you look at it, it says at elevations above 6,000 feet. You see what I'm saying? If it's an elevation above 6,000 feet, you blow off for 3 minutes.
You mean where I'm getting it from?
Where you
Well,
are.
where you
Where,
are.
oh, where I am?
Yes. I just, if I'm gonna blow it, just blow it for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, just, because that gets into a whole thing,
Okay.
Just say 3 minutes. Because, it's less than 3 minutes if you're at an elevation 6,500 feet. Most people don't know what elevation they're at. They don't think about it. I don't really care.
About 400 feet above sea level.
Yeah, so depending where you are in the country, that's varies. So that's why I say just shoot 3 minutes. They say a rolling boil, but, so that's just something that you want to consider. Okay, going over to the next page. And you got, I'm not gonna go through everything, but you got the Berkeley filter, which is a silver water purifier up here. And they come in different sizes and different prices. And these, just beneath it, you see what all they purify, what all they remove from the water. I'm not gonna go into each one of those. Then you took the page again, you got the Survival Filter Pro water purifier. And I don't have that one up here. I did used to have it, but so you got that one. It's a 3-stage filter. It's got a pre-filter. It's got a carbon filter. It's got like a type of carbon charcoal type thing inside of it. And it gets rid of certain taste. Now I would say this: for all the manual water purifiers they have up here, it cleans up the water as far as the way it looks. It gets rid of all the bacteria and protozoas and viruses, all that. And then it makes it taste good, smell better. All of them do the same thing. Some of them just do a little bit better than the other ones do, but they all do pretty much the same thing. If you turn to the next page, you got a straw. I have that one here. I'm going to show that to you. You got the Survival Filter squeeze straw. That's going to be this one here. Again, I'll show it to you. This is what it looks like in the package. Then you've got the next one, next page over. Then I start gardening. And that's this page here, where the guy's sitting there pumping the water. That's like, I would say that's the best manual hand pump. That's one of the best that you can buy. It's kind of pricey too, but it's one of the best you can buy. Okay? And you can read about that later. And you've got other forms of water purification that you go through. Right?
What is
So then there's one more in there called Rail. It's a water bottle purifier. It looks like we're on. The pages aren't numbered, but we're on this page here where it's like a little bottle water purifier. It's called Rail. That's going to be this one right here. That's this water bottle here. And actually, this actually came with a kit. So, like, say if you have like a little bag, bag, bug out bag. It's a little weighty. It's got a little bit of weight to it. I see your hand. I can see you in just a minute. But it's got a little weight to it. But this right here, you can boil water in here. Say this is good for like I think 100 gallons of water, right? But then if this runs out, then you can always boil your water in here, and this nestles together as a little kit type of thing. And yeah, but I'll show you how that works too. But I'm just trying to go through the pages so you can see. If we get to the back page, there's a little figure. Back page. Now look here, one gets there. Again, we're like what back page says why you need water in your life. Just picture of a little figure of a man. Okay. Is there one there yet? There yet? It looks like this. Picture of a little man. Okay, so we're all there now? Okay. All right, so why do you need water in your life? And you see, there's different outlines here, there's different things here that talk about different parts of bodies and water effects. If you're looking at the first, it might be a little small read. If you look at the first section on the left-hand side, there's this little section right here on the left-hand side. And it says about 60% of your body is made up of water. Over there?
Yeah.
Yes. It says about 60% of your body is made up of water. Your body is mostly water, as are your muscles, lungs, and brain. It says you typically can't survive more than 3 days without fresh water. Your body sends you dehydrated alerts when you need water. So when you start feeling thirsty, you're already dehydrated. Just keep that in mind. So whatever, if you're working out in your garden, in your yard, or you're walking, or whatever it is you're doing, if you feel thirsty, you're already dehydrated. And so you see, your body is mostly water, right? And then to the right of that, it says, you're thirsty, you get constipated, you get pains in your joints and muscles, you get lethargic, you get headache, you get weak and faint, your urine is yellow, you get lower back pain. So these are different things that can happen to you when you become dehydrated. And I'm saying this because it's important as we are out doing, I'm just going to say it, if we come to a point in time, which I think is very near, we have no power, we have to do everything manually, and you're out gardening, you're doing whatever, you have to make sure you stay hydrated. And if you find yourself in a situation where, say you're at church and you want to get home and it's like 20 miles away, you're at 30 or whatever it is, you have to be able to get home. So you might have something, inexpensive item like this here, in your emergency kit to get water as you're trying to get home, because maybe you can drive, maybe you can't for whatever reason, you have to walk. But anyway, you have to have water, is what I'm trying to get at. I'm not going to read everything on here, but I thought this was an important thing to include in the handout, because it kind of gives you an idea as to how water affects your body and how important water is. So take water very seriously. Okay. There's one last thing. I don't know if it's in everybody's handout, but I think it is. But it's fruit peel waste to purify contaminated water as well. Fruit peel waste to purify contaminated water. And I'm not going to get into it, but there's something you can read later on. But it shows you how you can use peeled apples, plenty of lemons, bananas, oranges, and that type of thing. And you can use that to purify water as well. Again, that goes along with the natural way of purifying water. So, and there's videos out there for all this stuff too. And there's quite a bit of information that I included here. It has links and things like that. You go out and check out your own research. Okay, so this is the handout version of it. Now we're going to get to the practical version, what all that stuff looks like. Any questions from what we read so far? I know I saw a couple of hands, so any questions now?
Rainwater, that's what I had my hand up for.
Yes, ma'am.
What about rainwater? Collecting rainwater.
Well, you can certainly do that. This is, having the important thing to take away here is that water is important. However you get it, that's what you
So can we drink rainwater?
Of course, yes.
Without filtering it or doing anything?
Well, if it, I don't know what your roof is made out of, but you might want to,
No, I don't mean off a roof. I mean just put a container out there to catch the rain.
Well, yeah. My thing is that, I don't know how clean the container is, but sure you can drink water.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
I suggested to me that if you're using rainwater, it allow the rain to fall for a while first before you begin to collect it.
right.
Because you have to remove the impurities in the air.
Yeah, and that's why I say, even if you're using a well or rainwater, however you get it, having a way to clean it up, kind of what you want to kind of think about doing. Because they're spraying things in the air, and so even though the water comes down and all of that, it may not be the best water to drink at that time. I mean, if that's all you've got, that's all you've got. But basically, trying to have some way to clean it is what I'm kind of getting at. If you get it from the ground, it's gonna be a little bit better, because now you've got the ground that's acting as a natural filter, like it comes from a spring or something like that, or well, you know, so it's already filtered, it's gone through all the other stuff, you know, all the process.
Brother Reggie, I'm going back to the very first page. You talk about the salt, but is it a particular salt you use?
Well,
I
it-
know Barbara uses the
It is salt, but you have more loads to get it. It is a special kind of salt. Yeah, it comes in, it might come in buckets too, but I've seen it in bags. So it's not like you go to Walmart or somewhere and get a box of salt poured in. It's not that kind of salt. It's a different kind of salt.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's, but you can go to Home Depot or Lowe's, they'll know what you're talking about.
Water purification salt?
No, it's not purification, it's temporary water softener.
Okay.
And it doesn't purify the water though. Water softener doesn't.
What I was talking about earlier, okay, go back to the scripture in the very first page that we read. It was used in scripture to clean the water up, you know. But what I was talking about in the modern day era, like what I have is a water softener, and you pour this big bag of water that you get from Home Depot or Lowe's into the water softener that's attached to my well. It's a part of my well system.
Okay.
And so it cleans up the water, and sometimes some of the salt gets left in there and it can come out that way. But, you know, so you get extra salt by drinking it. But that's the context I was talking about. But yeah,
Okay,
in scripture,
thank you.
it was used to clean water. Any other questions? Okay.
What's the purpose of a water softener?
Okay, so like in my well, there's different particulates and different, because you got, you know, like in the mountains, you got all this type of rock and stuff that you have to drill down into. All of that, different types of, I can't think of that. Yes, different types of minerals in the water that's kind of harmful. And you know, they tend to turn the skin ashy. It dries the skin out, it makes your hair brittle, that type of thing.
That's what I was thinking, I'm just making sure I
Yeah.
was thinking the right thing.
Yeah, it's just to clean that stuff up.
Okay.
But I will say, after I upgraded my well system, that sort of went away. It's not like it used to leave like this white filmy residue around the sink and all that kind of thing. And it was just kind of not so nice. But since I did that, it's much better.
Okay.
I think it's a better pump. Also, there was this shower filter I bought from a company called Seychelles, and they make water purifiers as well. But it connects to my shower head. Actually, it is a shower head. You screw it onto the pipe in your shower, and then the water comes out and it cleans up the water.
It's called Safe?
Seychelles. It's like Seychelles Island, but it's called Seychelles. If you look it up on YouTube, on Google, you can find it. But it's a company called Seychelles. They make they even make water purifiers that remove like radioactive material. Like if you have radioactive material in the water, like in your nuclear power plant, it removes some. That's the only company I've seen that sells water purifiers to civilians that remove nuclear contaminants from water. So I have one of those too at home. So, any other questions about what we covered so far? All right, so I want to show you guys something here. So the very first thing, this is a Berkeley water purifier. If you're looking in your handout, and you go to the actual manual purifiers, it's going to look like this. This page here. On that page, Berkeley, right? And you can read about what all it does, and you can flip the next page, and you see they come in different sizes. So this is one size. They make them real small, they make some better and bigger. But this is probably, this one here is probably about $250. And I bought this stuff over a period of time, so, you know, I'm not saying I went out and bought all this stuff, it's not that type of thing. But I was experimenting with different things. So this is one what sits on my counter at home. So what I'm trying to show you up here is that you have something for home, and you have something for on the go. Because home is fine, everything's fine. You know, even if the power goes out, you got a lake, you got a creek, whatever kind of water. You go outside in the mud puddle and get water. You can take the lid off and dump it in here. Now, what does this look like? Right? First of all, there's an upper chamber, which is this, a lower chamber here. In the upper chamber, tilt it over, you got these filter elements. All right? They screw inside. They come separate. I mean, they come not inside of it. You have to actually put them in. And there's like these little nuts, a little rubber washer here that you put each one inside of the hole here, and you screw this nut on. You put the washer on, you screw the nut on here, you tighten it down, and you can loosen it up a little bit to make the water come out a little bit faster, tighten it to come out a little bit slower. You don't want to loosen it up too much. But what happens is you pour the water in this upper basin, and the water soaks into the carbon filters here, like charcoal. The water soaks into there, and it drips out the bottom, and then it fills this basin up. And then you simply put the lid, or the lever rather, and the water comes out here. Now, this unit is separate from this base down here. The base is extra. But you can see why it's nice to have a base. If you don't, you can sit at the table like that. Okay? But in this case, I bought the base, so it sits on my counter at home like this.
How often do you have to change the filter?
Well, it's like each filter fills up to 3,000 gallons per filter. So I have 2 filters in here, so that's 6,000 gallons of water. So this goes for a long period of time. They say this is for like a family of 2 to 3, you know, but it could be, you know, it could be whatever. Now, they do make some that's bigger, and like you see, this one holds 2 filters. I can only put 1 filter if I want to, and then I don't have to, you know, if I only can afford 1 filter for right now, I get another one later, I put 1 filter in here, but that's 3,000 gallons. But since I have 2, I can filter out 6,000 gallons of water. But they make them bigger where you can put 4 filters in, and that takes care of a family like 4 to 6 people. So that's that. And it depends on, I say 4 to 6, that's what they say, but it depends on how much water you're drinking and that type of thing as well. Now,
Is there,
sure.
is there any indication when the filter needs to change?
It slows up. It'll start barely dripping out. And that's kind of the way it is with all of them. They're going to be harder to use because, you know, it's not filtering as good. It's going to be hard. Like this one here. You have a question?
In terms of time, how much time do you say you need to get a gallon of water?
Say, give this like 45 minutes to an hour. And it's kind of hard to say, you haven't really timed it, really, to be honest about it. But out of all of them, this is going to take the longest because you got to pour the water in, it's got to take time to sink in. And it's going to start dripping fairly, like within the next minute or two, when you pour the water in. It's going to be drip, 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 drip. And sometimes I get a little strain depending if you want to loosen it up a little bit more. But out of all of them, this is going to take the longest. They do make this version in travel size, probably. Anyway, it's probably about this size here, maybe a little bit taller, but about this big in diameter, and about like that. But it's got a little bit of weight to it, and then when you're on the go, it's going to take a while. You know? Unfortunately, that was one of the ones. I was supposed to have done this presentation a couple of years ago, I think maybe a year or so ago. But unfortunately, someone stole a trailer that had all my stuff in it. That was one of the things that they stole, you know. So I never, because when I bought it, I never knew how long it was going to take for it to work. But I thought, if I'm on the go, I'm on the move, I don't want to sit there with drip, 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 you know, kind of thing. So I was like, well, you know, I'm not going to replace that one, so I go and buy this. Now, I already had one of these, and I'll show you what this is all about too. But I bought an extra one of these to replace the smaller version of this. Because when you're on the go, you're moving, you want to do something kind of quick, you don't want to sit there and set up camp and just kind of wait for it, that kind of thing. So, I have this one here. This is called a Grail water bottle, right? The way this one works is here. And later on we can test this, but just since we're going through it, I'm just going to show you things now. And later on, if you want to come up and put water in it, see how fast or slow it goes, you do that too. But what you do is you scoop water up in this, like you go to a creek or mud puddle or whatever. Scoop the water up in here. This right here is a water purifier, okay? And you can buy extra of these. And I think it costs like maybe, this whole thing here costs, I think $90. $80, $90, something like that. And these I think are like $30, right?
How
And,
much do you get back?
This, we filter like 50 gallons, I think it's 50 gallons of water. So this will go for a little while. 50 gallons is a lot of water. So, screws on like this. Yeah. So you put your water in here, still a little wet from the last one. Then you unscrew the lid or the top of it. You're gonna screw it all the way, or you're gonna screw it just a little bit. It has these little rubber sides over here. So you do, and you got the water in here already. So then you're gonna come press. You can hear it. You press it.
Yeah, but he's.
Okay. And it goes down like that. And then this other part that you saw me hold up, the water goes through the little orange part and kind of goes up into the lower part. You can drink it or you can pour it into something else. Like if you want to purify water for a couple of people, you can use this. Pour it into something, give someone else a drink, or you can drink out of it yourself.
So the directions for that will tell you whether that'll filter out virus?
Yes, and the box, all these have boxes like this that it comes in. And it doesn't come in this kind of box, this product, but this comes in a box. All these things come in boxes, and you can see on this box here. You probably can't see, you kind of far back, but it purifies a lot of different things. On the back, it talks about the different filtration methods that it has in it, and they're actually replaceable too. So if you buy this type of purifier, you can buy extra filters and extra, like there's a part of pure carbon, it's carbonated to kind of take out bad taste and odor. This is a straw. Now what this looks like in real life is actually in here. This right here is an ammo pouch. But I bought the ammo pouch simply to put this in here. And the reason why I did that is because this is very lightweight. And when we're finished, you can come up and take a look at these different items. If I can unput this like this, I can put it on my belt. Now I have a very lightweight way of purifying water on the go. Is it as good as this, or this, or this? No, but it's very lightweight. This kit was like $40. Not this outer shell here, just the water kit itself. The kit itself, it comes with 2 of these and 1 of these. You can buy this by itself, but to me it's better to buy a kit where it comes with 2 of these and 1 of these. Now this right here, again, is this. Right? It has different components to it. You see different, it's broken down like that here. Now, screw the bottom off, and then you can see the little, it's like little fibers inside there. I know you can't see it all the way back to the room, but when it's done, you can look at it. But the water goes through here, and it goes through these little fibers, and it comes out the top. So there's a pre-filter, I took it out, but I didn't put one in there. It's like a little, it looks like, well, you really can't see it, it's white, it's like a little white part. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little white part here, it's a little disc that kind of goes in there. I took it out because I wanted to change it, but I forgot to put it back in. But anyway, that sits down in there. So that's one filter. And you got this other one here, the little white part there is filter.
So you drink the water from the top?
Yes. Then take this off. That's another filter. All the filters are white. And so this one here is carbon based. It takes the bad taste and smell out of the water. And so that right there. But this is part you drink from. So in theory, you could have like you just put water in this, take this, and drink from it. Right? Now, I don't particularly like just using the straw by itself because, say there's a creek. Now I have to get down, and most creeks are not nice and neat and clean. They're muddy and dirty, smelly or whatever. So you have to kind of get down on your knees, put your face down in the water, drink it. You got some down there. One. Yeah. So, yeah, in case people leave. Maybe some more people in the back of the mic. But anyway, yeah, so I don't like using it this way. It won't work with a water bottle, but it works with a soda bottle, like a Sprite or Coca, Pepsi, or whatever. Not that we drink that, but I'm just saying, if you found a bottle on the side of the road, get another water bottle, but a standard soda bottle, you screw this on top of it, you You drink it like that. And that's kind of, you can see the different methods, like the guy, he's sticking his face in the water. So I don't like that. Can you give me a Bible example? You see, now, what's the, now, from that Bible example, since you said it, in that Bible example, what's the negative side to that, in that example?
The negative side of that is if you drink certain way, you can know the enemy is coming down on you.
Yeah, see, so,
So
I thought about
the
that.
drink and go.
Yeah. So for me, when I think about certain things, I think about these stories. They're not just stories. When we read them, we think they're just stories, but they're reality. You have to actually live it. And so when you got these stories in your mind, the Holy Spirit just brings it back. So when I saw that, I was like, Gideon, I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. You know, if anything, I would take this and scoop it up. But I don't really like this method either. But that's why I say you have something like this, and then you can scoop it up. Now, I would say that, having said that, I would say that this is not the easiest thing to put water in. It really is not. I'll tell you that. But there's an easier way to do it. If you, like you see right now, this is closed. So to kind of put this in the water, to scoop it up, you scoop. It's going to be hard to get this open. So what you do, blow into it, open it up. Now it's easy to scoop. Now what you do, you don't submerge the whole thing. You kind of put it like kind of part way in the water, let the water sort of go in it. It's kind of scoop it up, a little bit more. Now it's filling up on its own. See what I'm saying? But when it's collapsed, it's very difficult to get water. You gotta blow into it, little bag. Now you kind of scoop it up. It makes it a little easier. But now I can have this on one hip and have this on the other hip. I have a carabiner. It's called a carabiner. So I can put this on my hip, put it on my bag or whatever, and get this put on my hip too. You got two of these, so you can do it however you want, however you wish. But this to me is a very practical, inexpensive way to purify water on the go. I think this does 1,000 gallons worth of water. So, any questions about this so far? Or either one of these?
How do you know when the filter needs to change?
With all of these, it starts slowing up and the water becomes harder and harder to get out of it.
Make it sick.
But not sick. Well, yeah, you would be sick. But no, but the water becomes very difficult to get out of. You see, I like this because it's a nice, neat little pouch. And also, this comes with instructions. So what I did was I put the instructions inside here. You know, that way, you know, if I'm out and I'm not really thinking straight or whatever, so I grab the instructions, you know, put them inside. That's that. Okay. Next method, and there are many other ways of purifying water too, but in these ways, these items I'm showing you here now, it's not to say you have to buy these. But, you know, if you wanted to buy them, at least now you know about them. But it's just to introduce you to different ways, different methods of purifying water. And this one here, if someone asked, you know, if I had to just trust two or one, if I had to trust one, it'd be this one, because I can use this one at home. Now again, and this one comes with instructions. It's actually attached to the bag itself. So if you don't know what to do, you got instructions on the front, instructions on the back. It's attached, and it's not paper, it's like some kind of wax, plastic kind of material.
What's the name of that?
This is called MSR Guardian.
MSR?
MSR Guardian. Now you remember when I told you initially about the purifying water with a tree branch?
Yeah.
This is the plastic hose I was referring to. So I had gotten the little makeshift stand, and I, you know, connected it to the makeshift stand like that. And the bottom part, I had it kind of coming. The bottom part I had kind of coming down like this, where the water would come out the bottom. And then you pour the water in the top part. And then here, the one I made at home is bigger diameter than this, but the idea, you cut a tree branch, cut about half an inch to half an inch, and trim it down where it can slide into here. And there's a little clamp you can buy at Home Depot or Lowe's. You can clamp it down screw it down, put the clamp over it, and screw it down with a screwdriver, tighten it down, so that when you pour the water up here, it holds into place. So you pour the water up here, and it comes out the bottom, through, it gets filtered through that tree branch, and it drops out. It kind of operates like this, where it drops out. But I got this for this one. This one here, you can, it didn't come like this, but I bought this for this. But it comes off pretty easily, so you have to be careful. But you want to put that on there like that. Now, I can unwrap this. Okay. And it looks a little dingy because I've been using it. But it goes into the water, and then when you put it in the water, you raise it up, raise it up, pump. When you raise it like that, it's sucking the water in. When you push it down, it's pumping the water out. Now, when you're sucking the water in, and you're pushing the water out, two things happen. So when you push it, it sucks the water in, just pushes it out to here, or bottom here, right? Now, when you're sucking it, when you pull it up and suck it like that, this part here goes into the water. The whole thing does not have to be submerged, like maybe half of this is submerged. Once you get half of that submerged, like you got a mud puddle down there, just put that into the mud puddle, and only like maybe half of it submerged, the rest of it kind of closes up, and the whole thing becomes like a suction. So you see one here, this here is connected to this part here, where it goes in, this is the intake hose, this is the outlet hose. So all the dirty, nasty parts of the water that is filtering comes out here. So that's why this would cost more, because it's made out of better material and it's engineered to be self-cleaning. So as you're pumping the water in and out, it's cleaning itself, it's cleaning itself, it's cleaning itself. So you got the dirty water coming in, you pump it out, clean water is coming out the bottom, and the dirty water is coming out here. And like I said, we'll demonstrate that later. Any questions so far?
What's the cost of that?
This is about $380. It went up in price, about $380.
$380?
Yes, $380. That's why I say, if I have one, you know, then. But again, like I say,
But there's no filter with that.
well, it is filtered. Oh yeah. This whole, that's all I was going to show you. This whole thing here. You can see it's still wet from when I used it before. This whole thing here is filtered.
How long did you take that?
This is like 5,000 gallons of water.
How much is
This is I think about $180, something like that. I forget exactly because the prices sort of change. But that's why I say, depending on what it is you want to filter, what it is you want to buy, you know, how much money you have something at different price points. So it depends on what you want and what you're trying to do. Any questions so far? Now there's no such thing as a perfect water purifier. There's no such thing as perfect. They all have their flaws. Like this type, this one here is better than the other ones of this type because it's more robust. It costs a bit more. You can get one that's just like this, called the Sawyer water. I think it's Sawyer straw. I think it's called Sawyer straw. But it doesn't do viruses, and you can't screw bottles and things onto it. It's just a one-way thing. You just have to get some kind of receptacle to suck the water. But the issue with these is that when the temperature gets really cold, like maybe like 20, 15 degrees, something like that, or below, any water that's inside that is going to freeze up, and it's going to freeze inside the little fibers, and it's going to crystallize and destroy the fibers. So you have to make sure you get all the water out, make sure it's in your body, so it doesn't freeze up like that. So that's the downside to some of this. This is better than some of the other ones because it's made out of, the fibers are made out of better material. But any kind of thing like this, on this level, it's like, say, $4 below, really especially down to $20 level. That's the issue with those. So there's always going to be some kind of issue. Even with the expensive one, there is, you probably can't really see this too well. There's a rubber gasket right here. That did not come
Can
like
you
that.
hold it up, please?
Oh, sorry. You probably can't see it back there. There's a rubber gasket right here. This orange, kind of orangey brown color. That didn't come like that. I actually bought bought this rubber material from Home Depot and had to make that. Why? Is because when you don't have that on there, you screw it all the way, screw it tight with the manufacturer say do it. After a few squeezes, after a few pumps, water's going to start coming out around the seal, and it's eating all over the place, and you think it failed. And then you get this really expensive water purifier that failed. And I went on YouTube to kind of figure out what was going on with it. But why is it failing? I only used it a few times. As a matter of fact, it failed during the demo. And it was basically it's a design flaw, meaning that if you unscrew it a quarter of a turn, which is kind of the thickness of the gasket here, it takes care of the problem altogether. But I don't, when I'm in a situation, I don't want to be thinking about I got to unscrew it half a turn and that kind of thing. So what the guy in the YouTube video did, he got this piece of rubber from Home Depot. He got a lid to a Pringles can, traced it out, and then it basically made his own gasket. So that's what I ended up doing. And I snugged it up like that. Now I had a problem. But I'm just saying, every water purifier up here, every water purifier has its drawback. So it's not like it's going to be one water purifier is perfect, it's better than all the rest. It depends on your preference. Do you like bottle, draw? Do you like this? It's just, the weight. This right here is this the lightest option of all of them. And when you're doing your bag, you got to think about weight. How much weight can you carry? Things like that. So, it's one of those things where it's a personal preference, and it also comes down to what you can afford. Any questions?
What's the name of that one you're putting in the bag now?
This is called the MSR Guardian.
MSR?
Yes, M as in Mary, S as in Sam, R as in Robert. MSR Guardian. And again, it's a little pricey, but it's one of the best ones you can buy. There's another one, and this is actually in your handout too. All these up here are in your handout. Okay, any other questions about water purifiers? No?
Yeah, that's basic and go on
Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah, if you look in your handout, I got it listed there. You can go to Amazon. You can go to Amazon and buy any of these. You just have to know the name of which the name of it in the handouts too. So this right here is going to be the Grail. The name of it is on the bottom.
Grail?
Right. G-R-A-Y-L, Grail. Right. And then, again, that's in there too. That's Grail. This one is called MSR Guardian. There's a great video on YouTube about this, this expedition group going down into Lima, Peru, and they took this, and there was some really, really nasty water that they had to purify. I mean, animals and all kinds of stuff around the water, and it took care of it. That's why I said if there's one, it'd be this one. Because see, here's the thing. This takes care of it whether you're at home or whether you're away. Now, how many medical missionaries do we have in here? I'm sorry.
I just say we all medical missionaries.
Well, yeah, but I didn't know, officially. Okay, so I want the reason why I'm saying that is because if you have to go to someone's home and do some kind of treatment or something like that, water's gonna be very important, especially if you're doing a hot and cold and all this kind of stuff. You want to have clean water. We talk about putting clean food, when I say clean food, proper food into our bodies, right? Okay, well the quality of the water you put in your body is equally important. So you want to try to have the cleanest water that you can for yourself, but also if you're trying to take care of someone else, you want to have clean water. And this is the way to do it. So it's not just about yourself, but it's about as you're coming in contact with people. Say you have a neighbor down the road, and like say I have neighbors, for example, and they all have gas generators. I have solar generators and giant panels and all that kind of stuff. So, but if there was an issue where the power went out, but the power went out, meaning that you can't even go to the gas station to get gas. So there's no gas to be got. So once the generator runs out of gas, their well is not. So they're stuck up a creek. So now the people who have solar, they don't have to worry about gas. My well still works. So I still have a way to provide water for my neighbors if I needed to. But say that there become an issue with the sediment in the water again like what it used to be, well then I can use a method, one of these methods here, to purify the water to give to my neighbors. You see what I'm saying? So the things that I'm showing you, depending on your mindset and depending on how the Holy Spirit is impressing you, it's not just for you and just for your family, but you can help your neighbors. If you buy something like this, that's for you. You see what I'm saying? All of it can be just for you if you need it to be. But I'm just saying this right here is not enough to like support a group of folk. You can support a group of folk with this. You can support a group of folk with this. You know, so and then the handout, there is a real big device by Sawyer. And you'll see that, you're looking and you'll find it. It's pretty, it's like a big tub, a big blue tub type thing. That's for groups. It's like for a village actually. So just think about that. This stuff that I'm talking about, it's not, some of the stuff is for individuals, but depending on how the Holy Spirit moves upon your mind and impresses you to do whatever you need to do according to the neighbors and the needs you run into, you let the Holy Spirit dictate what you need to do, what you need to buy. Any questions about water purification? Okay. Now we're moving over into the solar section.
Some of you already have this, they were handed out, but
It's going to be a handout that looks like this. So
you have all the papers, so it's kind of confusing. You have them all.
I can get that.
Thank you.
That's okay.
whenever one gets one. Does everyone have a solar handout? Okay, so look at the first part, the first page, right? Solar. Sorry? Okay, so the first page, now this is all portable solar. And I emphasize that because most times when you hear about solar, you hear about, you think of really expensive solar systems in someone's home, like $50,000 and $6,000 and that kind of thing. And that's just out of reach of most people, say that to most people. Again, if a person can do that, that's fine. That's not what I do in my solar presentation, my solar class. I talk about the portability of items. No matter how, whether it's something this size to put in your emergency bag that we're going to get to, something to step up maybe this size. They're close in size, but they're not, type of thing. They're kind of for similar purposes, but kind of different purposes at the same time. So, this is a long way from $60,000. But then what this does is a long way from $60,000 too. So, depending on what your needs are and what your wallet purses can afford, that's kind of what I'm trying to get at today. But I'm going to do it in a portable sort of way. And I want to pause here for a minute to kind of talk about some of the natural, or some of the things that are happening in the world. You got disasters that are happening. And you got the hurricane that just came through. They hit Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, Tennessee, maybe a little bit of Alabama. And there's power outages, okay? And so a lot of people had to evacuate, had to leave their homes. That's why I talk about bags. Again, we're going to get into bags later. But I'm just saying, if you have to leave your home, portability becomes everything. Because now you have to leave your home, and you really don't like it because you got to go someplace else, and you got to try to set up, and it's a stressful time. But if you don't have to leave your home, if you stay home, well, you got other options. You don't have to spend a lot of money to have the things you need. If you have $20 this lamp here, let me go to you this way. This is the way it comes when you buy it. This is by a company called Gold Zero. It's called Crushed Light. It's a little lantern. This is the way it looks out of the pack. A little lantern. It is solar powered. Now what I do, I can take this little lantern, you see how thin it is? And it's made out of a little rubbery membrane, a rubbery kind of material, plastic material. So I can sit this on my dash and let it sit there for like maybe 7 hours, get 6 hours of light out of it. This costs $20. Right? So if you don't have a lot of money, you got a $20 light.
What is the name of it?
Oh, it's in there. It's called a Crushed Light. If you look on your handout, this is right here. You got two of them right here in the middle. On the first page. And if you're looking at the top of the page, if you ever want to, I'm just kind of going through the handout here. If you're looking at it, right here at the top of my finger is the name of the company for this particular page. It's called Gold Zero. So if you ever want to go look it up on YouTube, I'm not quite look it up on YouTube, but if you want to go look it up in Google, you can do that. Go to Gold Zero's website, and you'll see all these different devices here that you can buy at different price points. It just depends on what you want and what you can afford. So you see this one here with the little jumper cables right here. All right. Give me 1 second. So that represents this and this. That should come in, give me a second, I'll show it to you. It comes in a kit like this. This is not the same one you see in the picture. The one in the picture I think is inferior to this one, so I bought it. Because the one in the picture is only for a car, and it's not as robust as this one. So this is a car jump start. And this is the cable system that comes with it. The way it works is
that solar?
yeah, well, this is not solar, but it can be charged, so I'm getting that too. One first. So you connect the jump starter to that like that. And you turn it on right here. So now it's on at 100%. Now it's ready to jump start your car. Again, this one will jump start my truck. The one in the picture will not jump start the truck, it will jump start like a small Toyota Corolla or something like that. So you can buy these on Amazon, but get one for your vehicle. If you have a truck, then I suggest you got to pay a little bit more money to get one for the truck. So the greater your need, the greater the cost is going to be. But it's not, this was like maybe $150, maybe $125, something. There's a little over $100, somewhere along in there. But I mean, but you can get whatever you need. There's some that cost like $70. But why am I showing you this in a solar class? Well, so this will jump start your truck, and this will hold the charge for like a year. So we're connected. That. Put this back up. You can charge this through a cigarette lighter too, but I don't recommend it because it takes forever. So, now, we're talking about solar. So we got this light here pops up like that. I'm coming to this too. So it pops up like that to make a lantern. I'm going to talk about both of these at the same time in a minute. So this has like a little switch on it. Press the little green switch here, light comes on. Press it again, dimmer, dimmer, off. Okay. And so you can hang it up. When I've had power, I just hang this up in my house. I don't immediately go to my solar generator over there during a storm because lightning and all that kind of stuff, you know. But I might hang something like this in my house because now I don't worry about this getting struck by lightning. Or I got candles too. I have that. I'm just saying, I have these little hooks kind of in my living room that I kind of carefully place so you can't see them. But when the power goes out, I hang these up in my living room or hang them in the kitchen or wherever. And now I got lighting for $20, $20. Now, this also works camping. Why am I talking about that? This for $40, this for $20. Got one of these nice little kit for us. Say it's under $100. Okay. So now, but this, you can recharge it in the sun, but you can also recharge it through a USB cable. So, if I can get this out here, I don't have fingernails, so it's kind of hard. Well, anyway, it's hard for me to get that out. But I can take this solar. This is a solar panel. This panel here costs about now probably costs about $40, something like that. This is a 20-watt solar panel. See the 20W? W stands for watts. 20-watt solar panel. So I can open up the solar panel like this. This is the size of it. This particular one's called by a company called Flex Store. See that? All right. So it does not have a stand on the back of it. So you have to prop it up on something. Right? So close this one up. And it does come with carabiners that you can hang, like from a bag, or hang up in a tree, or hang up on wherever you need to hang it up, you can hang it up. Close that up to the side. Now you have this one. This one's by a company called Big Blue. Well, this one is a little bit more robust and heavier than that one. This one's much smaller, much more compact, easy to put in the bag. This one you put in the bag too, but it's a little heavier. But you have a kickstand on the back of it. So now, you open this up, it comes with snaps, so you unsnap it, put it up, like this. Now, you let the kickstand out in the back, prop it up like that in the sun.
If you have some sun.
If you have some sun. But at some point you will, but see, here's the thing. These particular ones, if you look at it, if you notice it's made out of this real silicone kind of looking material, there's some that don't look like this. And I'm going to show you because this is a solid here. Now I want you to pay attention to what this material is like versus what this material is going to look like. So I'm not going to take it out yet because I don't want to get you too confused. But just pay attention to the texture of this material. So even when the sun's not directly shining, but the rays come through, this will charge. It will charge at a more reduced rate, but it will charge. This one won't. And it's that way for the ones for your homes too. There's some that, but now it's a trade-off. Everything's a trade-off. If you, the more better quality solar panel you buy, the better quality power you're going to get. There are some panels, not this size, but there are some home panels that are made out of this kind of material. They can charge from the front and from the back, and they're called bifacial. And it's so like with my property, I have these giant 4-foot wide by 8 feet tall solar panels. So people say you have to orientate your panels a certain kind of way, south facing and all this kind of stuff. Well, it depends on where your property is situated. Because my property, the sun comes up left side. One time of year comes up on the left side where that clock is. Other time of year it comes up on this side over here, but it's always this side. My property faces this way. The sun comes up from the left, and it sits on the right. But it's at different, depending on the time of year, it moves from one side to the other. So I have my panels on this side, and I want them to be vertical, like this, instead of an angle. Now I can put them at an angle, but they have a vertical. The reason in the front and charge from the back. This one here is, a small quote, so it's not going to do that. It's not designed for that. But ones for home, you can buy the bifacial panels for home, and you can do that. And the reason why you want to do that is so that you can capture more of the sun. If you set your panels like vertical here, the bifacial ones, and you put like these little white rocks, you get the little white rocks you've seen that you put in the driveway and that type of thing. If you put them in the front and in the back of the panel, as the sun comes up, whether it's on that side or this side or whatever, the panel is going to catch that, right? And then as it comes up, it's still going to catch it all the way till it gets to the top. Most of the time, people who have solar panels, especially with the bifacial ones, if it's vertical, the sun's directly over it, it's not going to catch it on the sun, unless you have like the little white rocks I talked about, front and back. Now, the sun's over it, but the reflection of the white rocks bounces off and catches on both sides. So now it's charged, even though it's still going to drop a little bit in the quality of the energy that you're going to collect from the sun into the panel, but because it's bifacial, now it's collecting from both sides as the rays bounce off the right rock and kind of come back here. And when it gets to the back of it, now it's collecting on the back just as it did on the front. So that's the benefits of bifacial solar panels. You pay a little bit more for them, but you get better performance. So you sort of get what you pay for.
You guys go back goal 0 too?
No. That's no. Goal 0 is just for the things you see on paper here.
Okay.
And it's just that as I'm going through this whole process thing, kind of throwing extra things in here. So goal 0, honestly, the only thing I buy from goal 0 are smaller products. When it comes to the bigger solar generators in your house, I probably wouldn't do goal 0. they're a mid-range company to me. I mean, some people really like them, but they're a mid-range company. But Anchor, EcoFlow, Blue Eddy, Titan, those are like the #1 portable or semi-portable generators that I would consider. Of course, now you have, what you call Generac, costs $15,000, $60,000. I think Generac has something about $12,000 too. But none of those are portable, they're all fixed. They're all fixed themselves in your house. But the only thing I talk about in my presentation are things that are portable, from this size on up to above that size over there, which we'll get into later. But I wanted to kind of go in a sort of order here. So I've got this solar panel out. I introduced you to this. This is my car jump start, remember that, right? So now I can take this cable, regular USB Type-C cable. I can plug it into the side here. This is an input output. Input is where you charge it. So you're getting charged input or output, depending on what you plug the other end is into. So if I'm going to plug this in here, right? And then I turn around and see here, actually that blue light is on, that means it's actually trying to collect, all right, from the lights. So now I plug this into here. This is already at 100% charge, so it's not really charging. But I'm saying, if I wanted to, when I was outside, I could charge my jump starter with a solar panel. Okay, you get me? So, you know, you can have solar at a fraction of the price. This right here is less than $100. This right here can charge my cell phones. It can charge my light. I got, like I say, if you have like I have a headlamp for my car. I have a headlamp in my bag over here. So this can charge this, but I can disconnect this. Then if I can get this open, this will charge this. This will charge this. Kind of following what I'm saying here? Next, this can charge this. You might say, what is this? Okay, glad you asked. Okay, so this is made by Gold Zero as well. This is a portable.
Can you hold it up, please?
Oh, sorry. And it's also in your handout. It's I think I thought it was. Oh no, it's not that. I thought it was in there, but it's not. Anyway, but this is by Gold Zero as well. It charges 4 AA batteries, 4 AAA batteries, and open the lid like that, and you see you've got 4 batteries inside of it. All right, so I'm going to pick out one of the batteries. I have no fingernails, so it's a little more difficult for me.
How long will those rechargeable batteries last if you use them on a regular basis?
I think they're going to vary because it's like gold zeros. I can't say honestly because it depends on how long the battery are set, that type of thing. It depends on how it's stored. To be honest, I can't say. I would say some that are from the name brand comes might tend to last longer than some of the other ones. It's kind of like when you go to buy flashlight batteries in the store. You can buy Energizers, you can buy you can buy Duracell, you can buy like the Rayovacs. Well, the Rayovacs not going to last long as the Duracell and the Energizers because they're Rayovacs. And then you have other ones that off the wall brands. So it kind of depends what kind of rechargeable batteries you buy. But if you buy the more name brand versions, they're going to last longer. They're pricey. They're pricey, but they're rechargeable batteries. I don't have fingernails, so I can't get the batteries out. But anyway, the idea, the reason why I have this like this is because I can charge this up. Put the battery in, close the lid, I can charge it up. I can plug this into here like this. Push the button. And then this will start charging from the solar panel. Alright, so then I can do it that way. Then I disconnect this. Now I can use this to charge up flashlight batteries or whatever, this becomes a power pack in and of itself. Or I can take the individual batteries out. I have a radio in my bag over there. I'll show you that in a minute. I can take
rechargeable batteries, not any batteries.
rechargeable batteries.
Correct.
Yeah, the batteries that are not rechargeable, you can't put it in here because it's not going to do anything for you. It's only rechargeable batteries. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so we can put the batteries in here and charge the batteries up. You can use the battery power pack, or you can take the batteries out, put them in flashlights or radios and that type of thing. So what I'm trying to show you is to get the most bang. You won't have the internet and all that kind of thing, but you still need radio communications. So this right here, and I have a regular radio too, it's in the bag of the thing, but this right here is a ham radio. Now you can buy a walkie-talkie version of these, but this is a ham radio, and this is a way to communicate with your relatives and friends and neighbors and whomever during a power outage. But you want to be able to communicate with people because communication is going to be very, very effective. Well,
Where'd you get that from?
I got this from the internet or from Amazon.
Amazon? Okay.
Yeah, all the stuff most of the stuff you can buy from Amazon.
So you have to have a license to use a ham radio like that?
Not to listen to it, but to talk you do. But here's the thing, in a crisis you don't.
But the other person has to have one like that for them to be connected. Right?
Yes, but see, even if you didn't use it to communicate, but you use it for listening to other people and what's coming.
Oh, okay.
Like say if you, and it takes, you have to program these too, so you have to program. But if you program it right, you can program it for this area, you can program it to hear stuff all the way across the country because it hits the radio towers and repeaters and things like that. So there's a way that you can program it to listen to whatever other state. But it's kind of good to have something like this because you kind of need to know what's happening, like what's happening in the state next door to you or whatever, and you listen to people. Like say we're in Tennessee, we're in Tennessee here. I had to think about it. So we're in Tennessee, but like Arkansas. Hey brother Ray, what's going on in Arkansas? Hey man, we got this big storm coming through, and so we be prepared for this big storm coming through. Okay, we need to board up the house or whatever. This is a way to communicate, or listen to other people communicate, even if you don't want to communicate or you can't communicate. But you need to have some kind of radio during an emergency, power outage, and that type of thing, because we know what's going on.
What's the range with that?
Honestly, I don't. Well, see, again, I don't know the local range because it depends on the trees and all this kind of stuff. But, like, say for example, if you have like radio towers around, mountaintops or on buildings and things like that, when you program, and it does require programming. So there's a cable that you need to get that plugs into the side over here, and you plug it into the computer, and you have to program it. I mean, it requires programming, and it requires somebody to assist you with that. And there's like this website that you can go to, you can pick which radio towers and stations in each city and each state that you want to connect to. So when you ask about the range, it sort of depends on what you're connecting to, who you're connecting to. If you're not connected to any of that, but just another person, it's like maybe, it a lot depends on the trees around you too. So you can say, 10 miles, 5 miles, but it kind of depends on how deep into the trees you are, how open, if you're in an open space, if you're at a higher elevation than lower elevation. So it sort of depends on all of that. It's kind of hard to answer that question, just depends. But anyway, the batteries for this, what I was getting at, the batteries for this, you can charge with this. Like I said, you can get the most bang for your buck doing it this way. And last thing, as far as the solar side is concerned, is, and we'll take a break after this, we'll take a long break. So the last thing, as far as solar is concerned, is this little kit here. Now, there is another solar generator over there I want to show you, but when we take the break, we'll come back and I'll show you that. But I'll show you this kit here now. So this kit here costs about, well, it went down in price, about $150. So you can see this kit has a base unit. It's called Solar Home 620 Plus. So it has a base unit. This base unit has a light and has a radio on it. It has 3 separate individual lights. And one light over here is motion sensitive. So you can put this light on the outside of the door. So somebody comes up, the light will automatically come on. But they all come with a little switch that's attached to each light. So it's like you have a light switch on the wall. You can actually mount these to the wall. And so when you go into a room, you screw it into the wall, you go into the room, you put the light on, like this, over there, switch on the wall over there, turns the light on. This is a solar panel. This is a 5-watt solar panel. 5 watts is not a lot, but it's enough to power this unit here. So will this power your home? No, it won't power your home. It powers this lighting system here. This is base unit with all these lights and solar panel connect to. Again, it has a rating on it. What it looks like, again, you get this about $150. So this is what it looks like. Okay, and this is the power button. The light. Well, it worked last night.
That's all.
I did it last night.
How many lumens,
No, I charged it up. It was.
how many lumens will that do?
Well, I was going to show you because it has 3 different settings on it, but yeah.
That's a
Well,
light?
yeah, this part right here is the light. I was going to like it was lit. It was lit up last night. But anyway, this is the light that comes on. It has 3 different settings. And
Probably left it on also.
yeah, I think I did. But hey, you know. So this is the light. So we can,
It has to be connected to them.
yes, it does. This is the light. And this is a little hook. This, of course, you disconnect this little tie here. And you can hang it up like this in the house. And then this part here connects to the back here, one of these little ports.
How big of a room will that line?
It depends how much light you want. I mean, like a bedroom type of thing, like a bedroom. Not super bright, but like a bedroom. Yeah, we should work. But anyway, so you have this is like plugged up to the wall, and this kind of gets thrown away all the way across the room or something. And then you got 3 more in there that kind of goes in other, or 2 more that goes to other parts of the house. And each light has a switch. You can turn it on and off.
Okay.
So when you have it connected to this is, again, this is the base unit. And so it gets this lighting source, it's lighting power from this. You can turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off.
What's the, how many,
Okay, so you can plug this into the wall and charge it that way. Or there's a solar panel in here.
how many hours will the charge last?
It depends how much light you use. I mean, it really, I can't really say how long it lasts, but it depends how much you use it. This is solar panel. Now you see the difference between this panel and the other one. This panel here, if shade kind of comes over it a little bit, the whole panel shuts down, doesn't charge. With that one, if a little bit of shade comes, it'll work. Like say, either one of these 2. If you have it open like this, it'll work. If I were to partially shade this like this, it still works. It gets the reduced amount of charging, but it still works. If this part was shaded like this half here was shaded, it will still work. It's going to slow down in the charge, but it will still work. If I close that, it doesn't work at all. Okay. But this one here, this particular type of panel, any part of it gets shaded, like with a tree branch or anything, it just doesn't work. So you kind of get what you pay for. So this is 5 watts, and then wattage doesn't matter. But this size here is typically 5 watts. So you plug this into this part here, run this outside your door or the window or wherever you want to put it, and it runs and connects to the back of this base unit. And these lights plug into the back of the base unit, and you distribute the lights around the house as you need. Okay, and it comes with a little booklet here that tells you how to use it, So, any questions about that? No?
What is the name of the other type?
This one here?
No, that the other one.
Which one? This one here or this one?
The bigger one.
The bigger one?
Yeah.
Okay. This one here is Big Blue.
Big blue.
Yes. And they make them in different sizes. The company Big Blue and the other company, this is like one of the medium range sizes. So this one's probably like close to $100, maybe like $80, $90, something like that. I think I paid $75 for it. But yeah, this is Big Blue. I bought this one 6 or 7 months ago, something like that. And, but yeah, so it's small enough. It's heavier than this one. This one's much lighter, but this one's a little bit more efficient and it produces a little bit more power. And then this one, this is like a 40 watt, this produces 40 watts a pound of power. And this is a 20 watt power. I'm just gonna tell you 20, it doesn't stand for watts. So this one's produces twice as much as this one does, but this one's heavier than this one. So if you're trying to build your bag, you gotta think about weight.
Yeah.
Now the 5 watt panel, they do have this is a 5 watt version where it's just one panel by itself, but it's going to take longer to charge this than it would be with a 20 or 40 watt. So the reason why I upgraded to 20 and 40, so that it takes less time to charge. But I sacrifice and carry the extra weight to do that. So
Push-ups.
yeah.
Yeah.
So anything I've discussed so far? Okay. Well, at this point, we can take a break. I know everybody's getting a little tired. Maybe you need to use the restroom, get some water, and that type of thing. So we'll take a break now, and we'll come back. If you have questions that you think of after the break, you can save them. And after the break, I'll answer your questions, and then we go into the next phase of it. And I'll show you the other solar generator over there. The other solar generator, if we wanted to, I can set it up. We can go outside, set this up outside, and show you how it works outside, how it collects sun, that kind of thing. But that's the one I used. That one there is what I initially bought to power my house. Before I knew anything about wells, because that one will not power a well, but it runs pretty much everything else. It doesn't power the well, the hot water heater, or my dryer, but it powers all the lights, my furnace, my stove, my refrigerator, and everything else that I plug into the outlets. The only thing I have to worry about is battery, but I actually have extra batteries so that and the reason why you want to think about batteries is because it powers everything. How long do you want it to power it? So that'll power my whole house like a day. And then extra batteries another day. But another battery is another day. So it kind of depends. It depends on what I'm using in my house too, because if I'm running, like I can run my washing machine off of that, but it sucks up a lot of power. So I'm not going to be using that to wash my clothes. I'm going to wash my clothes some other kind of way because I want to save that power for the lights and for whatever else I might need. You know, cook the food or something like that. Because I have an electric stove. Well, I have a propane gas stove, but I recently bought an air fryer, so I can run that. And the air fryer takes a lot of energy, but it doesn't take as long to cook. Also, you get a little hot plate and plug it into any of the outlets and things in the house. But we'll get into that later after the break if you have questions about that. So we go ahead and take a break now. You can do what you need to do and come back with your questions and we go from there. Is that okay?
How long of a break? 5, 10 minutes?
How long you say?
5 minutes.
6.
Okay, Evan says 6. Let's go. Walk, stretch your legs. 5.
12:36.
From 50
See you
minutes.
back here.
So where's the best place to get an EMP shoot?
I can give you a number. But yeah, to me, when everybody's doing like this, I'm calling I talk about my well is like 2 feet away from my house. I'm calling the house. They're really good at helping me. There's a lady that's on the phone, she's very
No breaks.
20 yards. They're on the break. No one should have that. So. Okay, so this is my wrong program. This is. So I knocked out what I have my cable. I put it in, twist my cable. I plug into my phone. This is the one I used to have. The real slick. When you, this line here, that means power coming into the house. Meaning that power's coming in from outside, from the city. Before I switch it over, I'm plugging in the cable.
Yes, I
No, just get a little fresh air, and then come back.
Coming from the main panel, this is the power in the house.
You fill out all of them?
That's okay. I wasn't gonna get back.
Probably left it at home.
This is my main panel here. You can pick and choose which one you want. This is my water panel. My water meter.
Yes, I know money is what's
Some folks don't understand what I want to this. When you start going out, where it chose
At least one of us.
I enjoy it.
You want to disconnect those?
No.
Well, that's just the thing, you know, that's why I don't use mine. I use mine,
I'll give it a
but it's always disconnected.
Yeah. But I don't wanna waste it,
If you spend more money.
Fill it out with the other one.
Everything.
Just like the same exact thing.
So, my way but I have, for my solar generator, I have. And it protects it. So they don't. Well, but then the thing is, you gotta buy a transfer switch, which that's like $400. If you get one that's automatic, after manually flip the switch, if you want to automatic, it's gonna cost you a lot of money. So it depends on what you want to, how much money you want to spend, and all of that, everything. So for me, I did it this way. So because I don't have that kind of money, you can't afford to put a unit on everything. You can put on different things, and It's just effective. We don't have that one.
Thank you.
That's the other thing. But if you call them directly, the MP Shield,
Like in the.
you're talking about what you have, and how you want to protect it, like you got the school bus. You're gonna have a well, something like that. You're gonna have a well, whatever. That's how to protect it. That's what you think about how much it's going to cost to do the things you need to do. But for the manual side, it's going to reduce the cost, but you have to have a presence of mind, oh, I gotta go.
Okay, I told Paul we get here, we reach,
So,
let you
trade
know,
off.
I have the
You
connected
just want to
date.
plug it in and don't worry about it, it's going to cost you more money.
You still the way yourself. You just relax.
So far, what's the last one?
Then
I want to make sure I'm trying
You
to,
know,
trying to cover
all
the
these
bases,
guys
but
are be trying to get the case done, and I'll try to get to them. When you know that was like experience, something last week, so what you see that
Presenting it?
well, I mean, it's just,
Yeah, they don't,
you know, I'm always happy to share the information God's given me to share, but I'm not really a public speaker.
Yeah, we put
But you remember that family I told you about?
What's that?
Remember that family I told you about that had a home store? We needed it.
Yeah.
Mine, yeah, this.
You better drink some water.
I guess.
Hold my book. Yeah, hold my book.
Yeah, just take some. Sister Shirley.
Sister, stop. I don't know, maybe like half an hour, or you want to eat or something.
We're gonna have lunch. We have lunch, sir. We have
Lunch or brunch?
Lunch is not. No, I'm gonna eat no more. You'll find it.
Multi-grain, Alonzo beef and kale. Huh. Dehydrated.
Aw.
Sleeping Beauty.
Got these filling charts, I'm gonna follow them out. Thank you, guys.
Before you leave, take some of these. You got them from Tribune. We have, you can take this one. You wanna take it home?
Yeah, put it on, yeah.
And I can make another box. Sanitation.
Okay.
10%. This is the same.
So, what do you want me to take?
You can take this and some of these.
Some of it.
Want to get another box?
Yes.
Brother Reggie, what's it for this one?
It depends on who you want to buy it from. So that one now, this is so funny.
Yeah.
Solar panels, those kind of solar panels are much cheaper. That one now you can probably get for like $400 or $500, something like that.
On Amazon?
Yes.
Blue TV?
Yeah.
I'll ask about
That was Blue Eddy.
You, Eddie?
Blue Eddy, yeah, and they make solar, if you, hold on for a second, I'll show you.
What's the name of it?
Blue Eddy,
Just let us know whenever you want to start.
and this is up to you guys.
Yeah.
Cause I don't know how long people need a break for, so.
Okay.
We're gonna hold them a little longer before lunch. Boil it for food.
Oh,
They
yeah?
will leave.
Okay.
They will leave on their phones. How much of They can't
I like
hear
it,
it.
I like it, you know.
They can't hear it, can it?
Yeah.
I'll tell you a story about that thing.
Okay.
But the other side,
Yes.
my husband, it was my grandmother. And my husband was something. You know, I was
Oh, so
expecting.
they were
it
there.
This is what he bought.
They were
I
in
said,
Florida.
what is that? It come in handy.
Amen. Praise God. Praise God. Praise God. It's time.
I think
Oh, so this
everybody
one is-
should have one with special
Affect you
equipment,
guys.
because, you know, you start
Sorry,
to
it
use,
affect you
you know, who's gonna come along?
Yeah.
And then whoever comes along, people will trust it. So, I mean, I know that some of them might not wanna do that kind of thing, but if she does feel inclined to do it, try it. Get out, start your stuff. And not, like I said, piles everything else. Yeah, go ahead. Now,
That's what I was concerned about.
so now they come in different watt ones, like this is a 200 watt solar panel, which is with that one.
Who did it?
Now, for seven, you say $800. So, but there's several different kind out there. I mean, there's,
Probably should have called.
you cost makes one too, but I don't like their very much because, and I show you, take it outside. Well, if you have one do this, yes, I can, but it's shelf.
It's basically the solar antennas.
Well, the solar.
They were thinking of eating now and then.
I do that.
Okay, so because I was gonna eat
So
system.
then pause and then.
Yeah, because Mr. Sherman and the children.
So we're resuming after that. I'll stop it.
Yes, because this is the bug out bag. This is the whole thing by itself.
Okay.
So, we do that.
Yeah, pause it.
All right, so we'll resume. Yep.
What were you saying about this generator, sir? I'm gonna check your home figures.
Okay, so now, with that, that's a 2001 generator.
We will resume
Yeah, now-
shortly.
Now, the generator, no matter what manufacturer it is that makes them, they make a